What's up, troopers? We're back. We're back, Michael, for the Notorious Scoundrels. I'm Evan. That's Mike Berry. We had a little bit of a summer break.
And just so before everybody gets mad, it was
Yeah.
my fault, not Evan's. Just so we're really clear.
It was both of our faults. Like, you know, we both of us just like had stuff going on, and you know, life happens, etc. Like it's good things, honestly, for both of us that was going on, but it was just things that sort of disrupt the everyday. So I do apologize for the fact that the tempo was slowing down for the last couple of weeks. But of course, the good news is that Fifth Trooper is so much more than just us, Michael. These days, is that the TFT podcast continues to go strong. But when you listen to this, we'll have a nice new article up from Ragnar that's going to be covering some of the stats for the last month, even though the reason why we're not going to actually dig deep into the stats today is just because the whole Mando thing is about to throw things off yet again. And so I feel like digging into it is sort of going to be a little bit of a not great use of our time, but we are gonna be getting into some recent results to at least give us an idea of where we think the meta is headed. We're going to be hearing from Michael's experience with Mandalorians. You've been playing it a lot over there. Yes. But before we get into that, I want to shout out some new and upgrading patrons. We have William Cardinal, J. Douglas Nielsen, Garrett Cinema, and James Garden. Also want to thank our sponsors, which is Legion Terrain and Game Toppers. Also, I want to say that many of the you signed up or upgraded back in April stuff, you know, that have been sent, but I am sure that there are people that have not gotten their stuff yet. And if that has happened, it's because I don't have your address. And so honestly, at this point, I'm just encouraging folks, if you haven't gotten your stuff yet and you are either new or upgrading in April, then just DM me on Discord or DM me on Patreon. I'm checking either one of those, and I will make sure that everybody gets their stuff. I've had to deal with a couple of situations where I didn't pack enough postage on it for some of the international things.
Nice.
So, you know, learned some tough lessons. I've bought more Forever stamps than I've ever bought in my life. And so now they're just taking up a nice big spot in my drawer. But we really appreciate you guys, and I do promise to make sure that everybody gets taken care of. Also, actually want to shout out to AMG because on top of the cards that are being sent out that we have picked up at Adepticon, AMG did actually send over a couple of the tournament prize packs that have the foil Mando cards, and it's like, I guess this is a promotion that went along with Echo Base and Blizzard Force when they came out, but there were foil versions of those command cards.
Yeah.
So I have a whole pile of stuff. I still have a pile of stuff. In fact, I can show it to you. I have it right next to me. It's yeah, look at all this stuff.
Wow.
And you know, at a certain point, I'll at least feel more confident that the April people have been taken care of. And then once that is true, the rest of this is all just gonna go to patrons. And so that's just a reminder that even if you didn't change anything about your membership back in April, it's a good thing to just double check that on Patreon that your address is there and that it's not private. Because Patreon,
multiple hoops,
unfortunately, yeah, the one thing that Patreon makes it really easy is for them to get the money, to siphon off part of the money that comes in. That's the part
that my surprise face.
Yeah, exactly. They make that part really easy, but the part where you know, they're actually sort of helping us get stuff to our supporters, a little bit more difficult, but so apologize for that and for any delays, but we really do appreciate everybody, and we will make sure everybody gets taken care of. Okay, that was a lot of business stuff out of the way. I was talking about international postage, Mike. Let's start with this. You know, I'm wearing this shirt, World Cup fever. Are you swept up, Mike?
I could not care less.
Well,
like actually.
First of all, thank you for saying could not care less, because you know me,
Yeah.
and my pet peeves with language is that the people who say, like, when people say I could care less,
Sure.
is that I do die a little bit inside every time I hear that. So that's just a brief aside on the English language. But so, okay, let me ask you this. So we know you're a football fan, American football, I should say.
Yes.
And we've talked offline about your opinions about baseball. You think that it is a boring waste of time. Is that correct?
Yeah, I mean, it's not really a sport. People just like stand there in the outfield and like catch a ball like once every 20 minutes. Like, I don't know, man. Like sometimes you get up and you swing a bat like once every 2 hours. Like, sorry, like maybe 3 to 6 times every 2 hours. You like do a short little sprint that's like the equivalent of like what a toddler would do like outside of the park, and you're done.
Okay. So many things to say about that.
I mean, am I wrong?
Yeah, you were wrong about a couple of things. Okay, moving on though. Basketball. How do you feel about basketball?
I think basketball is a cool sport that I do not enjoy because I'm a short guy.
What about watching it though?
I think it has similar issues to football, but maybe to a stronger degree. I hate the last like 30 minutes of a basketball game generally. And I just like
the fouls.
The issue that I have with basketball is that when it's a good game,
yeah,
like a close game, the best part of the game should be the end. And it just deteriorates into this like technical foul like madness that's just like it like what like I understand it's like one of those things that is this within the rules? I guess. Should it be how this actually works and goes? Probably not. Like, why hasn't this been fixed from like a professional, like, we want people to watch this sport level sort of thing? That bothers me a lot. I think if you take the following out of basketball, it's a great sport to watch. Awesome.
Yeah, and that it is better now than it used to be. This is not a basketball podcast, but it like the whole fouling thing actually used to be even worse than it is now. They changed the rules like, I don't know, 15 years ago or so. But okay, so like basketball is actually like my favorite sport. Part of your problem is that your local team is the Washington Wizards, which is not a great.
They're not great. They're not great.
They're not great. They never have been great ever since they changed their name from the Bullets, which was one of the best names of any team ever. Yeah. And when I was a kid, I was I grew up in Baltimore. Bullets used to be a Baltimore team, but I thought that it was like super cool that the local-ish basketball team was the Washington Bullets, and then they changed their name. My credit to my dad, like when they were doing the name change thing, this is like in the late 90s, early 2000s, they had like it was like a fan poll of what to change it to. And my dad submitted the name the Washington Insiders, which would have been like, I think
that would have been good.
That would have been an amazing, if it goes to the city.
A lot better for a variety of reasons.
Yeah, and like inside basketball is like literally a term, but no, they went with the Wizards. A bunch of Dungeons and Dragon dorks on the
probably. I mean, better than Bullets. Better than Bullets.
I hate that like real life circumstances necessitated changing the name from Bullets. It'd be great if we didn't have to do that.
Yeah. But I mean, we as a city, we don't have a great track record on the naming convention.
Yeah. Baltimore didn't either. But back to World Cup, Mike.
Yeah.
What is it about soccer that's not grabbing you?
I love soccer.
Oh, interesting.
I just don't like the World Cup.
Would you care to explain?
Would I care to explain?
Are we going to have a censor segment like the entire end of the last podcast?
No, I think I used to love the Olympics in a similar vein. I think with where the world is at presently, regardless of like what side of lines you're on and what you care about and stuff, I think just like separating teams by country like sows more division than it like cohesion that it creates. And that's just like a meta view of like how I feel about these things generally. I definitely wish that if we're going to have an international competition, which I think is awesome, I would rather have the teams be like people from different nations working together as opposed to fighting each other. And I like that's what I want in a competition like that. And I get that everybody's like, yeah, USA, go USA, you know. I don't care. I don't care anymore.
Well, I'll say this is that to a very large extent, what you're describing is Champions League.
Yes,
or Premier League.
I think that's great. I enjoy that. I watch those games sometimes. Like I go out to the bar with friends and watch a Champions League game. Absolutely. Would I rather watch a hockey game? For sure.
I didn't even mention hockey.
Yes, you did. You left off my favorite.
Sorry about that.
It's okay. Again, being in the city that I'm in, I think it also makes sense.
Yeah. That substantially better than the Wizards.
Yes, just a little bit. But yeah, I don't know. I used to be like, when I was younger, I was like much more high on the like, national pride sort of thing. As I've gotten older, I wish that we were more all on the same team. That's all.
Well, I'm with you on that point, Mike. But honestly, as far as the World Cup goes, the fun that I've been having has actually been sort of watching especially some of the underdog, like non-American teams trying to make efforts. Ironically, we're recording this on the 4th of July, America's birthday, and but so what that means that
my city's about to turn into a war zone.
Yeah, stay safe out there.
If you haven't been to DC on the 4th of July, it literally is a war zone.
Yeah, my dogs are going to be cowering in fear tonight because that's another 4th of July tradition. But yesterday there was this game between Argentina and Cape Verde. How familiar are you with Cape Verde?
I am gonna air my ignorance for a second. I did not know that Cape Verde was a state prior to this game happening.
Michael, I didn't either. Well, so I didn't know prior to the World Cup, but it is an island, a grouping of islands, an archipelago, if you will. That's like off the west coast of Africa. It's like basically right in the middle of the Atlantic Ocean. I've learned a lot about Cape Verde because of the World Cup, and they were a team that, like, despite the fact that their population is, let me get this right, less than 500,000 people for the entire country.
Wow. That's kind of crazy.
That they got to the top 32 in the World Cup, and that they almost pulled it out against Argentina, which won the last World Cup and has the best player ever on it. So that was like a fun underdog story. Sadly, that story is now over. I also have I have a bunch of Bosnian friends, and so they were like super excited that their team was doing well. America unfortunately ran right over them in the game that we were playing against them. But there's still a couple sort of like underdogs that are in there. And so that's the fun part. And I'm hoping that we don't just end up with another France versus Argentina final.
Sometimes Wheelbike Grievous just gets in there and spins.
Yeah. Yeah, I think I don't know. The commenters can tell us which is which, between Argentina, between Mbappe and Messi, who is Wheelbike Grievous and who is Han on a tauntaun, between the two of those. Let us know in the comments. But speaking of broken things. Like Argentina and France in the World Cup. Mike, you've been busy. You've been playing
yes
a Mandalorian list.
I've been playing the crap out of Mandos. I've been really I would like to take a second before we like jump into the finer details of the things I've been playing, is that the Mandos have been a little bit of a breath of fresh air for me, as far as they play very differently, I think.
Gameplay experience.
Gameplay experience. I think they're the first units in Legion that I actually, at least right now, feel like you can take options on and not feel super bad about from a effectiveness and efficiency standpoint.
Interesting.
I think one of my major criticisms of Legion in the past has been like it's just oftentimes better to take another unit as opposed to like kind of like decking your guys out with some stuff, you know? I think the flame projectors and the whipcords, and to a lesser extent like the jetpack rockets and stuff, like feel like cool, unique choices that you can make that are actively like engaging and like help your game plan in ways that we haven't seen. So really loving that. I've been playing with the new customizable leaders. I don't know if you guys got a chance to talk about them at all last week.
Yeah, so Isaiah and I, we detailed into those last week, so that we're caught up from a content standpoint in terms of what's going on.
They're sort of caught up. That was a leading question because I did listen to the podcast last week, and you guys were like, the snipers aren't very good. And boys, you are so wrong.
Interesting. Well, is that where you want to start, or should we have you been using a similar army consistently for the games you've been playing?
I have been playing for the last 6 games. I've played basically the same army with like a tweak on an upgrade here or there.
Okay, so
the units.
Maybe we can start with telling us what that is.
Yeah, so this is a Bow Watch, or Bo Katan and Kids of the Watch. And so there is one non-Bow, non-Kids of the Watch unit, and that is a Mandalorian Warrior Clan Kryze unit that has Axe Woes as an upgrade.
Oh, I get it. Okay, cool.
So we've got Bo-Katan with Vigilance and the Darksaber. We've got a Mandalorian leader with War Party Leader, which for those that may not have seen the stuff or don't remember is the direct retinue guy.
Yeah.
Also has Vigilance, also has Seize the Initiative, also has the Galar Sniper Rifle. He is a Kid of the Watch. And then we've got a Mandalorian Hunter with Deadeye, which is the sharpshooter target one. We've got Seize the Initiative, Whipcord Launcher, Sniper Rifle, Kid of the Watch. We've got 3 Mandalorian Warrior squads, one of which just has a flame projector, is a Kid of the Watch. A Mandalorian Warrior squad that has Axe Woes, a repeater, the carbines, because the Kryze squad can take them. Big point here is that the normal Warrior squads for the Kids of the Watch can't. So that's the second Warrior squad. The third Warrior squad is a Mandalorian Warrior squad, Din Djarin in the squad.
Oh, fancy.
Offensive push, flame projector, Kids of the Watch, because obviously you have to. I have a Mandalorian Initiates as my 4th core unit option, which is also a Kid of the Watch, and they have duck and cover because I had 2 points and nothing to do with them. It probably should have been like an environmental gear somewhere, but a lot of the gear slots are like taken up by like flame projectors and stuff on units.
Makes sense.
So it's like I was just like, whatever, I'll figure out what to do with this 2 points later. Then there are 3 Mandalorian Warrior Fire Sport units. 2 of them are the same. These are the only 2 units in the list that are identical, which is actually, I think, one of the unique parts about it. They just have repeaters and they're Kids of the Watch. And then the big boy unit, this is the big hammer that we'll talk about, I think, with more clarity in a minute, is the Fire Sport Squad with Paz Vizsla, a Shakur repeater, targeting scopes, jetpack rockets, and Kids of the Watch. That's 137 points for those counting at home. It is an expensive support option, but it's pretty good. And so I'm not sold on the battle plans on this list. I've been playing Bunker Assault, Intercept Signals, and Outflank, along with Recon, Mark Targets, and Bring Them to Heal.
Okay.
It's worked out so far, but that's the list. The general idea and premise here is you got Bo-Katan to give all your kids the watch Mando Stronger Together, and then you have a ton of orders going out every turn between playing 3 pips, popping Seize the Initiatives, and the direct on the Mandalorian leader. So you often, like, turn 1, you often have like 5 to 6 orders, and they're all generating This Is the Ways on various units. You know, I think so you give your turn 1 play is generally the Mandalorian leader 3-pip. You issue orders to all the fire supports, which is This Is the Way, aim 4 total because of Paz. You then have 1 more order from direct. That generally goes to one of the 2 champions of the watch. The champion of the watch that doesn't have an order pops Seize. So that's 6 aim tokens, basically to anybody you want that is a kid of the watch. Just from the orders. You then have Retinue, which pops on the Mandalorian leader. You've got Target, which pops on the Mandalorian operative, and you've got Independent Aim or Dodge on Axe, which also pops. So you're up to 6, 7, 8. I think that's 9 aim tokens to start your Mando Stronger Together shenanigans on turn 1, and you have 2 copies of Vigilance, so you can like hold the dodges you generate from Mando Stronger Together. And so that's just like on a 3-pip, you're probably placing 9 aim tokens on the board, generically, because of how This Is the Way works. You can only target the Paz squad with 4 of those aim tokens. Okay. So everybody that has This Is the Way aim, other than the Paz squad that can't target itself, generally targets the Paz squad and just hands them 4 aim tokens off the rip. Okay. So that's not the only setup for this list. You also have the other combo that's happening here while you're talking about all this. This is the way Mando Stronger Together stuff is the infiltrate package that's set up here, right? So you have Axe and a Mando Warriors squad,
right?
And then you have the Out of the Shadows 2-pip for the Children of the Watch. You give the other 2 Mando Warriors infiltrate, because detachment units inherit the prepared positions or infiltrate. You end up with everything in the list that's not a character or an initiate has infiltrate.
That's pretty good.
Yes, there is a total of 8 models in this list that do not infiltrate. So you have this big offensive aim package that you've built in, and all of it is also infiltrating. You're also playing primaries that are not that are board edge primaries, like primary board edge primaries. So you've got like a range band of 9 inches up, right? And your opponent has a similar deployment zone, obviously, because the deployments in Legion are mirrored at this juncture. And when you infiltrate and just like move 6 inches forward, your opponent can't actually dodge your attacks off these infiltrating units unless they only moved like 3 inches off their board edge, or they're behind an LOS block, right?
Yeah.
And you have jump on all your units, so if there's like a terrain feature in the way, you can just get on top of it a lot of the time. That's the generic, like, this is what the foundation of the list is built on. There's a lot of things the list does in addition to those things that we can get into more. I would like to say, before anybody's like, oh, I'm just gonna like go out next Tuesday at my local game night and have like a whirl of a time with this list, there is so many pieces to the list that are like constantly moving, and you're tracking depending on like you what orders you're giving where and things and stuff. Like, if you are not very familiar with the Legion rules and like how everything works together, I would encourage you to maybe try a list that is less intensive rules wise. But if you are like somebody that's like, I love very crunchy interactions and like just like building whatever you need, the like, click of your fingers, this list is for you, man. This list is great. This list is everything I love about Legion, and it is everything I loved about Republic when I loved playing Republic. And I'm not saying that as a negative. I want to be really clear about that. I'm not going to talk about Republic where it is today. I just like when I loved playing at the height of me enjoying Legion, Republic worked like this.
Yeah.
And it was like, you have resources that you get to choose to allocate in a way that matters and substantially influences the game state. And you get to make a lot of in the moment choices that you do have to plan ahead for, but like you are allocating resources in places that are meaningful. And like outside of like a standard Legion list, I think outside of like deployment and like command card play, and like when you choose to activate units, doesn't have a lot of like the I need tokens over here, I need tokens over there. It's more like I have tokens on Kalani or I have tokens on Thrawn, and like they're just sharing with everybody, and that's fine. But it's not something you have to like really think about, I guess.
Yeah.
Does that make sense?
Yeah, I mean, like when you're playing a list like this, there was a term in X-Wing that I'll steal, but like you have to do a certain amount of like formation flying, because and it's similar to what you were talking about with the clone thing, but a huge part of what this makes this list work is using Mandalorians or stronger together to like to get the extra tokens that you need, and also being able to make sure that you're going to be taking advantage of your this is the way every round, and so if you mess up your positioning, then you're not going to be getting those extra tokens. And I'm guessing, Mike, that like without utilizing those keywords, that this list wouldn't actually be all that great if you were just relying on the raw math.
I would go as far as to say if you stripped infiltrate out of the list, I don't think it would be that great.
Yeah.
Like I think any one of these pieces going away and this list gets a lot less strong. To be clear, I'm not going to claim that this is the best Mando list. I don't want this to come off that way. I think that this is like a very strong Mando list. I think it's like one of the probably like the three things that you could be doing that is very powerful. Which one of those ends up coming out ahead, I think, is a debate topic for another day.
Sure.
I will say I think this is probably, for me, this is definitely the most fun.
Okay.
From somebody who likes to make strategic, like in the moment decisions where you can like really make choices outside of activating units that have like high influences on what happens. And so like for instance, like an example of one of these choices is, let's say it's turn 2, right? You infiltrated like one of your squads in, and you're concerned about them being alive. You can decide to, instead of like aiming everything up, you can decide to give orders to the dodge guys and like just dodge a unit up to like 5 or 6 dodge tokens between the vigilance dodge token and throwing orders on the champion guys and the regular Mando warriors instead of the fire support guys. And you can like oscillate in this way. You're like, okay, Din's in trouble. I put him out there like a little bit too risque, and I'm just gonna give him 6 dodge tokens. And like you can kind of like make these choices in flexible positions on the table. And a lot of that is also like your positioning has to be correct, because obviously this is the way it has a range of 2. In order to like enable those things, and being able to like split the difference and be like, okay, I'm going to give Din 3 dodge tokens and then hand a bunch of aim tokens over here, or whatever, right? Is like a very interesting kind of choice you get to make at the beginning of every turn.
Yeah. And so just like looking through the list, is the reason, Din is pretty expensive, like he's 30, but he has like a pretty decent gun. It's like a short range gun, but like he's also giving a surge token. Is that the main reason why he's in there?
Nah, man, he's in there because he's just, first of all, I think we've had this conversation before. I love squad leader upgrades. I like want them to be like more and more of a thing. That's why he was originally in the list.
Right.
Then he stayed in the list because this dude is a maniac. You're like infiltrating. Often my play pattern with this unit is infiltrate turn 1, double move him behind a line of sight blocker.
Mm-hmm.
And then just like next turn, he just jumps over it and destroys you. And generally there's a place on the table where like you can kind of like wedge him in like a little nook, and like your opponent can't actually get to them unless they have like their own infiltrating unit on turn 1.
Yeah.
And then you're like, okay, well, Din's in a pretty good spot at the end of turn 1. I'm going to give him like 4 aim tokens, and then he's going to jump over the building and he's going to hit that super shore unit, and he's just going to like level it with like 20 dice pierce 2 with 4 aim tokens.
Oh, God.
He's the only like real lightsaber in the list. And he actually breaks the Mando mirrors open considerably. He's the solution in this list that is best tailored to handling other impervious units, because he's the only one that can actually get over the top of impervious other than Bo-Katan on her 1-pip.
And so sorry, like how is he getting over the top of impervious? Because like he
has duelist, and then he's got lethal 1
and lethal 1. Right. Okay. Yep. So he's doing pierce 2 in melee.
He's doing, pierce 2 in melee, pierce 1 at range if you're expending for lethal. And that's why he's got offensive push too. Offensive push is serving like a bunch of different uses here. You can, if you're not, this is the way in him, you can use it to like jack the squad up to range 3 because they're kids of the watch and they need to activate the long shot. Or you can use it for his lethal, or to activate duelist or whatever, like on the way in, right? And so that actually has felt really good. Yeah, that unit just, I'm going to be honest, I think it's less about Din. Like, Din is really nice. The flame projectors are just...
Yeah. I think that both of us were fairly surprised when it was like apparent that flame projectors were not going to be a character-only upgrade. And so like, it's just like... The flame projector on its own is a big pile of dice, but then you're adding a pile of dice onto a pile of dice.
It's just like, you're like, oh, I play the Mando 1-pip on my Din unit. My Din unit's also like Hale and Hardy, so it's 25 dice, pierce 2. Like what super squad doesn't just die to that? and the thing is like the Din unit, it's 105 points. It's like cheaper than basically any. It's like definitely trading up into supers. I mean, even the Mandalorian warrior squad that's only 70 points without Din and offensive push also like trades up into all of those like extremely well. I really enjoy the flame projectors. I think there is a world where they are a problem if like super squads are supposed to be like a thing that we want people to play in the game.
Yeah.
You know, I'm again not attempting to say this negatively, but like I do think like there's a lot of upgrades that are being pushed lately that it's like these are actively like not encouraging the super squad design decisions, you know. The flame projectors are just, the thing is like a flame projector on like Din or Boba or whatever before was like you generally get like a good chunk of a super squad, but you generally didn't kill them.
Yeah.
Right. But like when you're tacking on like 10 extra dice instead of 2 from Arsenal or whatever, like that's a big difference.
Yeah. And also you can have Pierce 2 on top of that if it's the Din unit. And yeah, like I'm just like, I'm thinking about if I was an Empire player and you talked about like that super shore squad, and then like round 1, this infiltrating Mando warrior squad with Din, they come in late and hide behind an LOS blocker, and then you're just like. And then, sorry, which command exactly are you using? Because you have multiple options to give them charge, right? But like, which one are you typically using?
I often will just play like aerial assault on turn 2 because it triggers
which functionally
more.
Gives them charge.
It also triggers more. This is the ways, right?
Yeah, that's right. That's right.
And it also, it just this aerial assault is so good.
Many of these cards are so good, but yeah, like it was funny when they previewed Area Assault back in Adepticon, and I think a lot of us were like, "Whoa, that's their generic command card. What the hell's going to be going on with this army?"
Yeah, I mean, you could also play the 3-pip. I generally play like the Mandalorian Leader 3-pip on turn 1, and then either Weapons Are Our Religion or Aerial Assault on turn 2, depending on my needs. A lot of the time, I'll play Aerial Assault because I want to like bring one squad that infiltrated that was a little bit risky out of harm while also like engaging with like the Din unit or something, so you can kind of like do like a shifting thing where one like shifts back, the other shifts forward or into position. And you can also use Aerial Assault to kind of like, if you won priority you can do one thing, and if you lost priority you can do something else, right? And like it allows you to make some decisions there. Should we talk about Mandos Are Stronger Together and the generic Mando Leader 3-pip? Because I'd love to talk about that a little.
I think we should talk about that.
So, both of these, the crux of what I would like to talk about is split firing and how that interacts with both of these interactions. I think you guys talked about it a little bit.
We talked about it. Isaiah was the one who really pointed out to me how ridiculous the generic Mandalorian Leader 3-pip gets. Honor and Strength is the name of it.
Yeah.
When you account for split firing. Yes. But yes, go ahead, Michael.
So we're going to use the Paz Vizsla Super Squad, or like, it's not actually a Super Squad. The Paz Vizsla
feels like
decked out squad to kind of like visualize this. So the Paz Vizsla Squad on its face on this turn is going to have 4 aim tokens. Okay. From This Is the Way aim shenanigans. You can do that basically on any turn. That's like not like a thing that is inherent to turn 1. That's just the thing you can do every turn if you want. They've got scopes, so every one of those aim tokens is rolling 3 dice if you want it to be. They also have multiple weapons with overwhelm. So this, if you split fire in 4 directions, you could in theory be handing out 6 suppression tokens. So this weapon has the Paz upgrade, which is 1 red, 2 black, 3 white. It's like kind of a squad's shot on its own.
Yeah,
to a lot of extent. You've got the Shakur, which is 3 black. You then got 4 regular guys, one of which we're going to take away out of the pool because we're going to allow him to fire the jetpack rockets. Right. So we've got the Paz, the Paz pool, and then 2 3 black pools, one of which has overwhelm, and then you've got the jetpack rocket, which is 4 black. Right.
Yeah.
So that's 16 dice. We've got 4 aim tokens, and we've got overwhelm on 2 of the pools, and yada yada yada. Now, if you step up and you split fire and split all 4 of those pools, you've gone from 12 black, 1 red, and 3 white to 4 black, 9 red, and 3 white, because each one of those pools individually gets upgraded to the Mandalorian Commander card. Turns out maybe you don't need all those aim tokens at this point, but if you miss, so you can also just like spend an aim token on each pool, and you get a dodge token each time because Mando's Stronger Together triggers per pool, right? And so you're like, I got 4 aim tokens. I'm translating all of these dice into red dice, or maybe you want to upgrade some of your white dice to black dice in Paz's pool, whatever. Do your thing, choose your magic, it's up to you. And so you're getting 8 dice worth of upgrade. You're getting 4 dodge tokens off Mandos Are Stronger Together from split firing. And in one of my games, my Paz squad stepped up, killed 2 strike teams and another activation in one go. And the thing is, the strike teams, because they were already shot, like when all of your pools are sharpshooter 1 and like worst case scenario, the die pool is sharpshooter 1, two red dice and a black die, with an aim token. Like you're probably going to kill some stuff if you have at least 4 of those, right?
Yeah.
This unit feels like Rexstar in the old days.
I was about to ask about this.
Where you were just like, hey man, my phase 2 unit has Scout 2. This unit has Infiltrate, which is better than Scout 2 was back in the day. It's got 4 aim tokens, which in this case is basically like having infinite aim token. Like you're gonna get somewhere between 14 and 16 hits once you like upgrade the dice and spend 12 rerolls and whatever. So you step up with this unit and you have a bunch of decisions to make on like, do I split fire a couple ways, which is like obviously very good with the command card. You could also just delete a unit. Like if you shoot a Jedi that is not named like Darth Vader, they will be dead or very close to dead at the on average at the end of the shot.
Also remember that they have sharpshooter 1, which means that half their cover is being taken away, assuming that they have heavy cover to start out with.
And like you can just sort of delete stuff. And that's not to say like the other units that are also infiltrated and doing like mini versions of this are also like, like the other fire support squads, which are only 7 black dice, but can also split in 2 directions, end up being 4 red, 3 black, sharpshooter 1 with 1 to 2 aim tokens, right? Like they also are like mini versions of this big squad. And so basically every turn 1, I'm just like, I step up with all 3 for the fire support squads. I split fire in like 17 different directions. And if you don't kill stuff, it's fine. You want to know why it's fine, Evan?
Why is that?
Because you have 2 sniper rifle guys in the back that pick off all the unit leaders that you didn't complete the kills on.
Oh, that does sound good.
Yeah.
So I guess, first of all, just to repeat, is after you get done with this like big stupid attack, and if you split fire, if you did like the full split fire and you spent 4 aim tokens, then you get 4 dodge tokens from Mando Stronger Together.
Yep. Which insulates you a lot from basically probably never going last.
Yeah. So that's just like the situation, is that it is in that way it feels very similar to Rexstar, to where your opponent would often have a chance to shoot back at those clone units that went up and did a range 4 attack. Sometimes they actually wouldn't, which was like when their opponent was really sad. But like they did that, but they were doing it into heavy cover, and there were a bunch of surge tokens everywhere, and so it never felt like you were trading in the right direction. And this is a similar situation, because even though most of these, like unless it's the Din unit, they won't have any surge token access, right? Like they're
the only surges in the list are the leaders. The operative does not have the armor,
right?
And the 1 surge token on Din, which you can like, again, another choice you get to make in like kind of the command phase is like, if I target Din with this is the way, I like pick up a surge token on the unit, which is actually pretty like an interesting decision to make, right? Because sometimes you don't need it, or think you don't need it. Sometimes you do.
But like you still have to get through cover and regular red saves, and the fact that they are going to have 4 dodge tokens.
And you're probably only going once or twice after them, right? Like this is the last unit that's going to activate.
Yeah, this is the last unit. So
right.
Yeah.
So like, and the thing about it is that like the other units that are before the Paz unit that are stepping up and doing a similar thing are just like the calm before the storm. It's like I put this fire support unit in, I step up, I take some like kind of chippy shots, which aren't really trippy shots, like 4 red, 2 black with a name token. Sharpshooter 1 is like,
that's pretty good, honestly.
That's most of a clone commando pool for like a significantly cheaper price. And and you get another 2 red and a black on top of it, shooting something else, right?
Great.
And so, but if you as the opponent decide to interact with that piece that has stepped up and shot you, the Paz squad can just take whatever units you have interacted with up until that juncture and choose to delete them.
Yeah.
And obviously, like, your opponent can, like, roll hard saves sometimes, like, but like the chances that you don't take serious damage from essentially 16 hits into light cover is like not something you should count on.
No.
It's kind of like having a flamethrower at range like 4 to some extent, you know, that can split fire in a bunch of different directions. I love this squad. It is like everything I want. It's like, give me
so you've played like 6 games with this exact story, something very similar to the squad.
Yep.
Have you had trouble with anything?
The one game I lost was because my bow went 1 for 6. Because
if she dies, then you're losing your Mandos stronger together.
Yeah, but it was all that losing Mandos. I just like needed her to do something that turn, and she died before she activated.
Okay.
It was kind of a weird game. All of my games have been very the same. I think part of that is that I think playing into basically what is a army that is just like mono infiltrate is like very it's kind of like a big elephant in the room. When you get to the table, you're like, how am I possibly going to deal with this from like a deployment standpoint?
Yeah.
And I think it like it's kind of, I don't want to say it's like unsolved, but I think it's a thing that like people haven't gotten used to playing against. It's not the same as playing against like commandos infiltrating, because commandos are only throwing 12 dice. This list throws its maximum is 16, 23, 30. The Axe squad is throwing 9, 39, 44. It's 50 dice on all the infiltrating units at range 3. If I want it, and that doesn't include the 2 snipers on the back. And most of basically all those units can have aim tokens if I want to. So like it's very not uncommon that like you have multiple units that are panicked at the end of turn 1.
Great.
And so like if you don't have line of sight blockers or good places to hide where you can also contest objectives, like you are kind of like forced into this decision tree that's like, okay, we're gonna have a gunfight like immediately, which is not a thing that happens. Like most gunfights in Legion right now break out somewhere in the middle of turn 2.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Like generally, like middle tail end of turn 2 is when the big flashes of battle tend to start happening. That's obviously an opinion, but I feel like that's a safe thing
I think that's right.
Say. This really turns the dime on its head. I have scored multiple like home outflank points on turn 2 with this list. And it's just like, yeah, you're in your deployment zone and you are not coming out of it until you either shoot your way out of it or die.
So I guess like in theory, if you're playing a list, most lists wouldn't be able to do this. The only list that you really could do this is like another Mando list. But if you're playing a list that has no big bases at all, and it's all troopers, that theoretically you could hide your whole army behind that range, that 3-inch bubble, like in your home base. If an opponent did that, obviously their positioning would then be terrible.
And my Din Flamer is like 6 inches from your like farthest, you're the closest objective to you.
Yeah.
Right. Like,
yeah.
Like my Mandos are just like forward positioning and we're going to do it to you next turn instead. Right.
Right. And so you're just like delaying the inevitable, and like that strategy of basically just sort of being being kind of a scaredy cat round one, like an intentional scaredy cat. That was something that was pretty good to do against like my Grievous wheelbike list, because that list, it had this really strong upfront thing, and then it has the Jedi Arts shenanigans, but that list was not good at standing around and fighting.
It's not a list that's like, I'm going to stand my ground and take it. You know,
exactly.
This is.
But Mandalorians can definitely do that.
Yes.
And so like you're literally, I mean, it's just kind of, this is another X-wing term from back in the day, but it's just jousting. And the infiltrate allows you to get the forward position that you need in order to get the range, and then you are open up to retaliation, but you're open up to retaliation on an impervious red save in heavy cover with up to 4 dodges
with X dodge tokens.
Exactly. And so like you are openly going to be trading, but you will be trading up. And so that just like puts your opponent in a rough position. I think I'm like, I obviously on this year podcast, we like, part of the reason we have these conversations is that we try to predict the direction that the metagame is going to go into. We're getting close onto the it being a year since we were first talking about Wheelbike Grievous, of like our first thoughts were like
careful with the use of the word R here.
So my first thoughts was like, this guy's gonna die, which that part did end up being true, but I think it was the whole Jedi Arts thing that didn't predict about how disruptive that would truly be. And with the Mandalorians, like I think that our first thoughts were that, wow, it sure seems like Bo-Katan with the Darksaber and also the various Clan Ren shenanigans are potentially going to be really good. I think that it's sort of funny to me that this is a list that intentionally takes the idea of having a true Children of the Watch list and just tosses it out the window, because the bonus that you get from having full children is just like it's non-meaningful.
It's not a bonus.
You're saving points in order to have a worse list by not having access to Mando's are stronger together. So, I mean, in that way, it's sort of thematic to Mando season 3.
I do have a little bit of a criticism, something that like, if there were changes to Mando's in the future, I would love to see changed. I really wish that the Clan Kreese keyword was something else. And I wish that Mando's are stronger together was just
printed Darksaber.
Was just printed on all the Darksabers.
Oh, yeah. I think that's good. I like that, actually.
Because I think it you end up in this situation where like, basically, if you're playing Mandalorians and you're like not playing Bo, you're probably doing it wrong. There's probably a couple lists out there that can stand on their feet without her.
Yeah.
Right. But like, I think most of them are probably going to be very close to objectively just better if Bo was in them for the most part. Again, there's probably some corner cases there, but I think they're few, very niche, and probably not that much better if they are better at all.
Right.
And I just think it would be like, okay, it would be interesting if like Clan Kreese had its own keyword, and then like you could splash Sabine with the Darksaber and get a similar like style effect, and it's or Gar Saxon. Maybe you keep Gar Saxon's restrictions still, where he can't like work with Clan Ren, because that's like obviously like a themey thing that I think is cool that they decided to do, right? But like maybe Din with the Darksaber gives Mando's like I don't know. I think. And I think you could have also made it so that, like, in order to get Mando's are stronger together, you also have to break your battle force, like break your clan. Like you can't get Mando's are stronger together in any of the pure lists by so that effect is just divorced from like and because of that you get to make the clan things like some stronger, right? Because they can't have Mando's are stronger together anymore. So I don't know. That's just like kind of like a wish listy item thing for if this stuff ever got changed. Overall, I'm very happy with the release. But I do wish that like in this list maybe I could have Sabine instead of Bo or Gar Saxon. Like I think that would be cool and interesting. And it would present some increasingly diverse options as opposed to just having to take Bo every game.
Yeah, I could see that. I could see that. I did also want to ask real quick about, like, you mentioned the whole sniper thing.
Yeah.
So I think that when Isaiah and I were looking at this, is that there were two thoughts. Is that, one, it's a 3-die pool on a character that is, decently expensive. What do those guys come out to? Is it like 90 something or something?
In my list, with all of their upgrades, the operative is 95 points. They've got Whipcord and Seize as like bonuses.
Yeah. Okay.
And the leader is 114. They have Vigilance and Seize as bonuses. So
yeah, so the leader's more expensive.
They're like 85 and 100 without the kind of what I would term as luxury, upgrades.
Right. And so I think that the thing that we didn't like was having that small a die pool on a more expensive character. And obviously for the leader, he's doing a whole bunch of other stuff. But for the operative, it is true that when he has the sniper rifle and Deadeye, that he is a no cover sniper, which is always nice.
Mm-hmm. High velocity.
Yeah, no cover, high velocity. But it there's two things that sort of warded me off. Like, one, there's going to be a lot of Mandalorians out there, which means your Pierce 1's going to go away.
Sure.
And then two, that it can be backupable. Unlike the nouveau sniper maxing super sniper guys.
Yep.
And so even with those two like fairly decent caveats, you think that it's still worth it to be using that sniper rifle on the uniques?
I don't think those are caveats. I agree with all of those points. The thing that I would like to say is I think all of the other weapon options are so samey to the generic profile on this unit card that they're basically not worth taking. The melee one brings your like melee pool up from 4 to 6. It's still Pierce 1,
Interesting.
The range pool on the generic card is 4 dice. I think all the range pools are also 4 dice. There's obviously the one that gives you Gunslinger, which is interesting.
Yeah. And charge. Gunslinger and charge is not a bad combo.
For sure. Yeah. But if you like need this unit to have charge, it's like not something that's impossible to do.
Yeah.
like it's not like that's the only place you can get it, right? So when you need this unit to have charge, it can have charge. And like honestly, like in melee or at range, 2 black, 2 white, or 2 red, 2 white with an aim token or 2 is like pretty close to a full boat most of the time.
Yeah.
And that's just the thing that I like about the sniper is it's like all of the other options don't really increase your range band viability. They don't, like the gunslinger, like obviously gives you a second attack, but like having a speed 3 range 5, multiple speed 3 range 5 options in your army puts something in your army that was not there a minute ago at all. Like it puts a like essentially a range 7 band, 2 range 7 band threats that have multiple aim tokens and pierce on the table that your opponent kind of like, as long as they're not behind a line of sight blocker, like they can't get away from that. Like those units are going to be able to clip unit leaders basically anywhere they are on the table.
Yeah, that's fair.
And while doing most of the things that the other weapon options are doing, obviously they're not doing them as well. Like they are marginally less effective, I think, in those capacities. But most of those pools are like fairly similar once you factor in that with an aim token or 2, like you're probably capping the dice pool out anyways.
Yeah, I think that it's actually like a really good point about like the fact that compared to most of the customizables out there, that these Mandalorians have some pretty decent baseline weapon options that are just printed on their card.
Yes.
And so when you consider the fact that the sniper rifle, it doesn't merely add dice and maybe a keyword or 2, but that actually it adds an entire 3 bands of range that were not there before.
Yeah.
I think that's sort of the thing that really clicks for me in terms of why it makes sense to bring the sniper on those guys.
It's like 100% increase in threat. I think you guys were like comparing one of them to like a generic Jedi, and I was just like, I face palmed immediately. I was like, this guy can attack things that aren't in melee, guys.
Oh yeah, that's right.
Like this guy can hit things that are rage 7 away from them on the table. Like what? for the same or cheaper cost. And their melees are like, the generic profile on their unit card is like most of a custom generic like lightsaber.
Man, you had more strays for the generic Jedi.
And these guys are picking up like free aim tokens most of the time. Like, guys, what are you saying? I died a little inside. I was like,
this is what you get when you don't come on the podcast.
Oh, by the way, they just have burst of speed every turn.
Oh yeah, that part. Yeah. Oh god. Well, Mandalorian's pretty good. It'll be really interesting to see how things change because we're about to talk about some tournament results, which for the most part are not going to. In fact, like none of these, as far as I'm aware, had any legal Mandalorians in it.
Yeah. One other thing I want to talk about Mandos, real quick, because I want to amend some statements. Maybe not amend. I want to asterisk some statements that I think mostly I said before. I've played against Bow Run a couple times at this point. I don't think it's as good as we think it is. I think it has some serious range problems.
Okay.
It really wants to be in melee, and like the card that generates like aims and dodges and stuff is cool, but like in order to use it effectively, it's really awkward. It's kind of what I've found. So I'd like to amend the statement that I made where I think it probably will get nerfed. I actually think it might not.
All right.
Yeah. We'll see. Maybe somebody will figure out a way to make that list sing a little bit more, but like I think Mandos that don't have infiltrate are like a tougher sell in the range category. I think that's why like a lot of the Mando lists are gonna stand on their feet from the jump. The best CAD squads are definitely good, but like you do got to get them there.
You have to get them there for sure.
And like that's a tall ask, I think, in the economy of like sometimes you have to charge like a Darth Vader.
Yeah, and I think a big part of what makes them attractive is the nimble keyword, but you know what is like basically like nimble is just getting so many dodge tokens in the first place from Managers Are Stronger Together that it's almost like you've already been shot 4 times and that you're getting free dodges from nimble.
Well, yeah, it turns out this is the way. That's another thing that I think like
this is the way on top of that, exactly.
This is the way like gives you all these tokens at the top of the turn, as opposed to in the middle of it. Which is like
distinction,
a really big deal. It's like this is the way is like, I kind of played 2 or 3 extra command cards this turn.
Yeah. God.
As far as like strength of effect goes, so I don't know. I'm a little bit. I'm less high on the Bow Run thing than we were, I think, on initial.
Sure.
Just kind of seeing it all on paper. That could change, but I did want to just like come out and say that before people started accusing us of being like, you said Bow Run was going to be the strongest thing ever and it's nowhere, and I'm not sold. I think that maybe a Bow Run list that finds a way to not be as dependent on the best CAD duelists could be really good. Sabine is absurd, by the way.
Yeah, the new Sabine is really good.
I've played against her multiple times and I'm just like, this is crazy. This is the best thing about this list by a lot. She between like Mandos Are Stronger Together and like she generally has like 1 or 2 aim tokens and up close and personal. So like every time she shoots, she just like has 5 to 6 dodge tokens. It's like, all right.
She's like never gonna die.
She's got like situational awareness and nimble, and you're like, all right, well, whatever.
Just like you're not gonna shoot at her.
Yeah. Like, all right, fine. Like, I guess you get to keep your Sabine or whatever. I'll gut your army outside of that and move on, but yeah, Sabine's really good. But I don't know about the rest of how. Yeah, we'll see.
Yeah, and then I do feel like the Clan Saxon is a little bit of the redheaded stepchild right now.
So I think good Clan Saxon lists are going to look very different. I actually think that if Super Squad Initiates are anywhere close to playable, it's in Clan Saxon.
Okay, interesting.
Because Compel just makes it so their drawback is non-existent.
There's not a drawback anymore,
right? Yeah, and like being an expensive core unit option that's only Courage 1 in this suppression meta, is like no thanks. I do have an initiate in my list. It's really there as like a back capper. It just sits on the back point all game and does nothing. Like that's its only job.
Yeah, and on round 1, it's your initiate and Bo-Katan, and then probably Din because he's moving twice. Are those the only units that aren't shooting around 1?
Sometimes it's both flamethrower units.
Okay.
Neither of them have heavy weapons, so they're made to engage at range 1. A lot of times what I'll do is I'll like super forward deploy the one without Din, like very early in the turn, like I don't know, activation 4 or 5. And so and this is a good time to point out that the order control on this list is all of the orders. Your custom operative gets an order. Your custom leader gets an order between direct and C's, and then the 3 orders go to the fire supports. So your bag is bow and your 4 core.
Yeah.
You start the thing that you'd like to do is set up the Mando leader ability as early as possible, but you'd also like to shoot with him. Mm-hmm. So generally you like pull out of the bag and you're like, okay, if I pull bow
or a core is fine.
You either go with bow or you go with the initiates, right?
Yeah.
And then even if you draw a second core, it's like mostly fine. You can kind of just like
flamethrower approach,
put the generic flamethrower down, right? Yeah. And then you're like, okay, once you're like getting to like drawing Din, you're like, generally I draw like 2 or 3 times out of the bag, and then I'm like, okay, I'm going to put the Mandalorian leader down and I'd like to start shooting now. And he generally like moves and takes a shot, or he just like double moves into a point where he's like putting up a good upgrade dice bubble down. But like moving and taking a shot is generally what happens. You don't really need to double move often. It's pretty hard to hide against a speed 3 range 5 shot. Yeah, like it's the table.
Accurate.
And it plus some, right? And so unless you have hid 4 activations behind, like completely behind line of sight blockers where you can't get angles, like he's going to shoot something. It has been pretty common for me to take 4 models off the board between the snipers on turn 1, because the first sniper comes on and he's like red, black, white with a name token from retinue, right? Which is generally like 2 Pierce 1, like sometimes it's 3. The second sniper is red, red, black Pierce 1.
Gets to upgrade their dice because of the Jesus. God, it's so stupid.
With sharpshooter
2.
And high velocity. Well, like if you don't have impervious, like you're taking some boots.
Yeah, it's like, I'm just imagining shooting at a clone unit with that. And you're just like taking 3 clone models off.
I mean, one game I gutted 6 of 7 models in a riot control squad with the 2 snipers on turn 1, and I was just like, yeah, you just got 5th brother. Like, I don't know. Like, at that point, you've made all of the points back on the operative at that juncture, and like you have a lot of game left to play with units that are pretty safe.
Well, Rexstar's back.
It's back, baby.
So that's why Mike's got such a smile on his face.
Yeah.
Once again, he is back in his happy place of killing your entire army before
you get to do anything.
Get to start doing anything. Well, yeah. I think that one of the ongoing topics is going to be the. I feel like there's been this sort of renaissance of split firing between the Onaka gang situation and the Mando Leader 3-pip situation.
Yeah.
Which, like the Onaka gang one being that Frenzied Gunner, combines with all three of those shots and are split firing, and these are the tanks will naturally be able to do it 3 ways and start getting a whole 3 extra dice, and then the Mandos are upgrading a bunch of extra dice. Like, I'm wondering if at some point there's going to be a rules change that sort of tones that down, because it feels a little bit rough.
I also think that, like, just generally,
yeah,
people who have been playing Legion a long time are still not split firing enough under the new rules.
The new cover rules being
the new cover rules specifically,
about,
because it just doesn't matter. Like, from an actual damage done perspective, unless the units you're firing into have like cover based defensive keywords.
Yeah.
You're just netting suppression token, like extra suppression tokens when you split fire. Like, obviously killing units outright is great.
Yeah.
But like overkilling units is also kind of not ideal in the current.
Yeah.
Like, you're wasting dice, right?
Sure.
Yeah. I think that that was one of my major takeaways from my games with Trent Hale. Honestly, it was like, I'm not split fired enough. I need to do that more. Even in situations where, like, I would outright kill a unit, I should be entertaining split firing far more often.
I think that's fair. And then overwhelm is yet another reason for split firing renaissance. Like, it's the things are really adding up and to make it better than it used to be.
Yeah, that definitely. I think even before all the bonuses that we've gained in the last like 2 to 3 months, which have been substantial.
Yeah.
I think we weren't doing it enough, but now I think your first gut instinct when shooting with a ranged unit, if you can split fire, you should consider that as your primary option, and combining the pool completely should be a secondary thought.
Yeah, because unless it's like armor or nimble dodges, or there's various like things that can change your need or like the benefit you get from split firing. But if none of those are the case, then like dice wounds that are happening overkilling are literally a waste, and so even though it's better to get 7 wounds on 2 different units than it is to like do 5 wounds to kill a unit and then have 2 that are wasted.
Right. And it's
usually.
like, is killing the outright unit damaging its offensive capability more? Yes. Is doing 3 to 4 wounds to it and 3 wounds to something else still doing most of that damage and also doing that damage to something else?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
I think it's a thing that people should start entertaining like far more often.
Yeah, I think that's a very good point.
And obviously with Mandos, like, it's just like, we haven't had a ton of units that are like, yeah, we can split fire in 4 directions, like on the norm. It's like no big deal.
Yeah, it was like Bad Batch could do that before, but most units couldn't do that. So like it's kind of a new thing. It used to. It's like these new Mandos. They remind me of old arcs in a lot of ways, where it felt like they had a billion different weapons.
It's funny you say that. What list were old arcs?
Oh yeah, you played Arcstar. This is why you're having such a good time with this. Go figure.
Also, sorry, minor
and the jump
aside,
packs are free this time.
I'm gonna try to not gripe about this too much, but I feel like a conversation was had when fire support was stripped out of the game. The dice pools were getting too large. And I just want to just topically throw it out there that like 2 Z6s combined were like 8 black, 12 white. Like, the dice were pretty garbage,
they were
considering
a lot of crappy dice.
You didn't surge and stuff.
Yeah.
And now we're like in the realm of like, I had a pool the other day that was like 15 red dice, 6 black, and like 5 white, pierce 1. And was one unit with like multiple aim tokens, and can I get my fire support back? Like,
yeah, like, I mean, I had that feeling when I literally just did. It was literally just a spider flamer against a full Cassian fleet squad, and that's not even close to being as ridiculous as some of the stuff that you're talking about.
Like a Clan Kree squad with a flamer and Mando. The Mando 1 pip is like, you get like 10 red dice just off the flamer. You get like another 6 red dice and 6 white dice off the guys. So that's like 16 red, 6 white. Then you stack another 5 black on top of it, and you're like, guess you're dead.
Well, something to look forward to. It'll definitely be like, once August rolls around, it'll be really interesting to see how the rest of the stuff actually competes against these guys. It is sort of interesting that the Mando leader is actually like, your list that you're talking about. It really depends on those customs, and those are releasing when again?
I think they're mid-August.
I think it might be like early August. And so that's the wacky thing, is that you're having these experiences sort of previewing a list that's not technically legal yet because of the Mando custom thing.
Yeah, I mean, my local tournament scene, which is pretty heavy in the Nova area, like we have 3 more tournaments in the next 2 weeks that are like all within 20 minutes of me. Like we've got like 2 to 3 tournaments a month sometimes. Everybody's allowing the customs just like to be played in tournament legal armies right now, which is fair play, honestly. If it's not GT, like, whatever.
I agree. Like, if it's not an official event, just literally just let people proxy the customs and let them have fun with it.
There's so many, like, you know, custom, like, I just man, I've griped a couple times. I do have one other thing to gripe about, and then I'm done. I'm done. Okay.
It's fine. You were out for a week, so you had.
I know. I got some making up to do. So the new Mando sculpts are beautiful.
Yeah. Yeah, they really are.
The heavy weapon options in these boxes boggle my mind. So on every Mando warrior sprue, like the sprue for one unit can make like a regular Mando warrior squad, an initiate squad, a fire support squad, or a super squad, right?
Yeah.
It allows you, the heavy weapons on the sprues are 1 shucker, 1 grenade launcher, and there are 2 snipers. You can only take the snipers on the special forces and the fire supports. And the models that make the grenade launcher and the model that makes the shucker are also the sniper models. Like you can only make 2 heavies per box, and they may either be a shucker/sniper or a grenade launcher/sniper.
Okay.
So if you want to make a Mandalorian warrior unit with a shucker and a fire support unit with a shucker out of a single box, you can. And if you want to make a like the Mandalorian's warrior squad can't even take the sniper.
But you have 2 of them.
But you have 2. And you can't double up on the ones that you actually want to be taking.
Yeah, that doesn't seem great.
And like, it's like a minor gripe, but it's like in a list where I could theoretically build like the entire army that I've been playing out of one of these special edition boxes, except that there's not enough shuckers.
Oh, that's tough.
And I don't want any of the sniper rifles. right,
and that's the extra funny thing, is that, you know, out of all of these upgrades, you know, you talked about that this is the first list that makes you want to just like pile upgrade cards onto these. The one that I don't think anybody's really looking at is the sniper rifle for the generic squads.
I'd like to make a quick comparison on that front. This isn't really a criticism; it's more of like I don't understand what's happening here. Paz Vizsla. So the sniper rifle is 35 points. It's a red and a black dice lethal 1.
2 dice lethal 1, yeah.
2 dice lethal 1. Paz Vizsla is 40 points, 2 health. This is the way aim
dice.
1.
Yeah.
1 red, 2 black, 3 white overwhelm. I want to be clear. I think Paz is fairly costed. I just don't understand how we got to 35 on the sniper. That's all.
I think that sniper rifle will drop points. Which is what should happen. Okay. Wanted to shout out quickly a tournament where Mandalorians in their full glory will definitely be legal is the Evergreen Open 2026, which is August 21st. I am planning to stream that, which will be that'll be a first for me. But shout out to former owner and leader of the site, Jay Shalansky, who did put together some very, very lovely stream overlays from back in the day, which I will be stealing in their full glory. They look awesome. It's
there was a lot of time and effort put into that.
I'm sure that
stuff.
there was. So this is like a real shout out to him for having done that, because it looks like sort of like a retro synthwave 80s, totally radical.
Jay was so good at that stuff, man.
Yeah, he really was a wizard.
Stuff.
And so I'm excited just for the overlays, even though like compared to Dave's Lincoln, my camera situation is probably literally going to be an iPhone, but iPhones do have very good cameras on them, so it should actually be pretty good as long as the internet connection is good enough, Lord willing. But yeah, right now there's 30 people signed up for it, and names such as JoJo Banks, who is a top 4 finisher, Isaiah Wallace, who is a has-been former world champion, is also going to be at that tournament.
Isaiah, don't let him talk to you like that,
man. Thanks again for filling in for last episode, Isaiah. And lots of other really good players. The Seattle and Portland areas are rife with very strong players. And I'll be there, gonna have some stuff to give away from the site. Right now there's already 30 people signed up, and we're still like a month and a half away from the actual event. So there's 18 spots left. Sign up for Evergreen Open. Like, it's been Izzy Gambliel does a really good job running these tournaments. We're gonna have plenty of prizes, and you will not regret it. So I did want to give that shout out. Okay, so speaking of GTs, we're gonna talk about 2 recent events. The Indy Open was not a GT from the looks of it. At least like per Longshanks, it's not listed on like the list of GT-ish stuff. But also going to talk about the Battle for Hoth, which was a winter GT. What? It's July. Winter GT on Australia. Because that's how it works. And I'm actually going to... yeah, it was wild. I'm actually going to talk about that one first. Okay. And then we're going to cover Indy Open, which was bigger. But this was like this Australian GT was pretty big, 31 players. And going to talk about the top 4. So number 4 was a mysterious player that simply goes by the name The Drink. And the Drink was running Rebels, Mike. three proton charge saboteurs with 3 sniper strike teams, Cassian fleets. Hey, Luke Skywalker Rebel Troopers. That's something that you've been a fan of for a while. You were sort of shouting that one out.
I also would like to secondarily say that I think it's a lot better in the new suppression heavy meta.
Yeah,
like generically, like having something with like pseudo inspire too, like just in a core unit is like, and it's pretty cheap. Honestly.
Yep. Yeah, it is definitely meaningful for sure. And then 2 SX21s, the Requisite Han, the Requisite frontline commander with thermal detonator and heavy blaster pistol. My favorite combo.
That's the unit that 1 of 6'd my bow. I just want to say the thermal detonator, dude.
Yeah, that guy has definitely done a lot of damage to that unit. Actually may have been the type of unit that hurt Wheeled by Grievous the most at WTC. Sure. Was literally this stupid Fighting for Freedom Rebel officer taking range 1, Pierce 1 shots with
it's detonator. The detonator's got impact on it, right?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, impact 4. Yeah. So it's enough.
Yeah.
Oh boy. And then he rounded it out with a Vibroax agent and Lando. Yeah, Rebels are good. I feel bad because I keep looking at these lists and just going like, yeah, it looks like Rebels to me.
I do want to start shouting out. I actually think
sure.
Scrambled Orders is very good. I think I've
I
played
think
enough,
it is too.
I've played enough games with it, like with and against it at this point, where like if you are able to have the foresight to place it correctly, I do think that it is a worthy inclusion in your list.
It can really mess up your plans.
Yeah, if you find yourself not being able to place it correctly, obviously like leave it at home. but you know, I think it's not too hard to place correctly. Like place it on the PO, like within range of the POI. That's like the fight is gonna happen around, and you're probably okay. You know,
I think Rebels might be in the best place as far as their advantages, actually. Like, because they have 2 advantages that are pretty much universally useful that are faction specific. I guess like, you know, the no time to lose. It obviously matters about like to what extent you're actually going to be behind your opponent in terms of activations later in the game for it to matter. But
it's like it's kind of never. Right.
Yeah, you think so? Well, but I mean, there's other Rebel lists that are out. Like, you know, you're going to be against other Rebel lists, and especially this one is quote unquote only 14, actually 15 activations.
But like with those lists, do you actually want to spend a pass token as not a pass token?
Late in the game, you do to get a free recover on like a very suppressed unit. Like that's when it becomes useful, right?
Yeah, I sort of feel like if you were in one of those mirror matchups and you were like, if you have a pass token, that means you're down by 2, right? Like,
yeah,
you're probably actually just dead.
Like, maybe.
I mean, that's kind of how like if Rebels are like under like the 11 to 10 act count, like midway through the game, and they're down on acts, like I think they've just lost. In most of those games, the games are kind of over. That's not to say that it can't be helpful, but I think by the time that advantage is helpful, it's like it's being reactive, or I think you want your advantage to be proactive. I think is what I'd say.
Yeah, that's fair. That's fair.
But to counter your Rebel strongest advantages thing, I think it's Empire. I think Black Ops.
Black Ops is good.
What's the other one?
The new one is awesome.
In the new suppression, suppression's just everywhere. You're like, yeah, I can just choose at two junctures in the game to just not be panicked. It's like
that's crazy.
And then your third advantage is just advanced intel. I just like their advantage suite is very strong. Like they just like never have a bad one.
Yeah.
I don't know.
And I think we're in the same place that bringing up the rear is the Republic as far as the advantage situation goes, which is a phrase that we've said a certain number of times in the last few months.
What faction were you talking about?
Yeah, Mike's already forgotten about them. Speaking of which, though, the very well-titled GAR in this economy from Vivian Gleason is Yoda 3 Naked Marksman, Padme with Strike Team Leader, and then the Impact Grenade Chewie Wookiee Warriors melee squad. And then we have 2 full arcs with the Gunner, and then 2 sniper teams to go along with that. On top of, to round it all out, 2 beam cannon ISPs to give you some range threat. Yeah, Mike and I, like, we were talking about this list before the cast. It's kind of a variation on just like GAR good stuff.
It turns out GAR good stuff don't get tokens, it looks like.
No. Well, okay, hang on.
Tell me how many things generate tokens on this list. Go ahead.
Tactical.
Okay.
And Yoda's 3-pit.
You also have Strike Team Leader.
And Strike Team Leader.
But that is it. There's literally no top of turn tokens on any of the regular units.
Oh boy. That's crazy, actually.
That's where we're at with Republic, fam. Meanwhile, me over here in Bowatch area, I'm like, I got 9 aim tokens. I'm upgrading all my dice. I'm turning these tokens into other stuff. I've taken no aim or dodge actions, and I've got 27 tokens this turn.
I mean, when you say it like that, I sort of like look at this list and I compare it to the Mando list that you were talking about. I'm just like, it's not even going to be fair, right? Like,
yeah, you know, I mean, yeah. Yoda pulls some weight, you know.
Sure, and I guess I didn't ask you this: is that in your 6 games so far, to what extent have you run across the true sniper maxing boys, and how much have they been causing a problem for you, if at all?
The snipers haven't been an issue. I just like split fire them into oblivion. Honestly, you're just so close to the enemy that the fact that like they either have to not take shots or they're going to die against that list, which is one of the main advantages it has. I have not played a game with that list and not been even on activations at the end of turn 1.
Yeah, which is problematic for your opponent.
Yeah, yes.
To be even on anybody to be even on activations with the Mandalorian army is not.
You're like, oh, and if my Paz unit gets to be the first thing that goes again on turn 2, like you're in danger town.
Yeah. I will say about this list is that we got Padme with Strike Team Leader. I am guessing. I mean, obviously that could go on anybody, but I'm guessing that the idea would be to have it be a way to get an easy aim onto Chewie to activate Duelist.
Or a dodge, honestly. Like, Chewie tying up Vader with Duelist is, like, pretty big.
Yeah, that's true also. The Chewie unit is good. I like it a lot, and this is another thing we were talking about before the cast, is it's sort of like, it's cool. Yes, it's cool that we can have one good Wookiee unit per army.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's fine. It's like... Yeah. I'm not willing to say it's like OP or anything. I think it's like,
no, it's definitely not that.
It's like what
it's worth the points.
It's like what I want a Wookiee unit to be.
Yeah,
you know, like
so you get one of them exactly.
It's like
more
offensively for their price point. They're still not very good. You know, like they're fine, but like you lose a model and you're like, okay, this is like every Mando unit in the game is just better than the squad.
Yep.
Like, which is fine, but like, you know, yeah. So
we'll see if the promised true Wookiee fixes actually turn them around.
Yeah.
My hopes are low. Okay, so the number 2 list was Peter's Iconi Alliance, an often seen member of the Australian Top Cut. And he was, of course, playing CIS, which he has done since the beginning of time. His list is that he's got 2 of the
super track droids. The list,
yeah. We'll get to that in a second. So, like, I'm just gonna talk about the bottom part of the list first. He's got 3 Ion Spiders, which is cool. And then 2 naked Vibro Commandos with their 2 sniper buddies. It's definitely like a good way to spend. I think that's 104 points total, or it's like 110 points total or something for that.
Yeah, I mean, I think the Vibro unit is, they got a discount, right? So they're like 66 or something now.
Yeah.
For some ungodly reason, we decided
they got cheaper.
Needed a discount.
Yeah. Yeah, and then on top of that, like, I think that oh yeah, this is another good question for you. Have you changed your mind about Impervious being better than it was before and now? Because like before, I was on the side of it's literally better than it was before because Pierce 1 is the most common Pierce, and you were like, but what about Vader? Blah blah blah. Where do you come down now that you've been playing Mandos?
So this is a little bit loaded because I've only been playing Mando, so I've only been on the, like, literally my army is immune to Pierce 1 at all times.
Right.
Train, you know, Vader rips Mandos apart. Like, it's
interesting.
It's really, really like, I played one game that I was playing like straight Kreese, which is just nowhere close to as good as the Bowatch list, just so we're clear. I actually think the special forces are way insanely overpriced. And that's part of the reason I'm playing Bowatch, is because I don't think that it's worth paying for. Like, you can maybe take one, you know, whatever.
The regular Mando warriors are just a much better deal.
They're just a much better deal, and they do, you know, like a lot of these units with like the squad leader upgrades and stuff are still cheaper and do most, if not better, things most of the time.
Right.
But like I was playing Clan Kreese. I had 2 like 6-man special forces units, you know, with like 5 mans plus heavies. Vader comes in, he like Vader mites one, he like cuts up the other. I lost like 10 models in a Vader activation, and to be clear,
Vader's might is nice. I didn't even think about that.
To be clear, like 10 special forces models in one go, that those 2 units are more than 300 points combined. Like, Vader made his points back and then some in one activation.
Yeah, that's fair.
Like I think the Pierce, I think it goes for Anakin too, you know, who can like take multiple swings in one go and then trigger tempted and yada 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 yada. I do think Impervious is just it's so much worse against those units.
Wow.
It's like it is miles worse than it used to be. Before, it was like your opponent was like, "Ah, man, you have Impervious. I don't really want to do this." Now they're like, "Oh, you have Impervious? I still eat your unit."
Yeah, but you're talking about, you know, if you put Vader lists and Anakin lists together, then it's still less than 10% of the field, right? Like,
yeah, I will agree with you.
Pierce 1 that's everywhere.
Impervious is definitely better against Pierce 1 than it used to be, for sure.
Sure.
How much do each of those things matter? I don't know. I think what we're gonna see play out is if Mandos are good and everywhere, Pierce 1 will go away. Vader and Anakin will be like, "Sup, boys," and and that's what it'll probably be. You know, I am.
And you would also put Dooku and Asajj in that category too because of Mikeshi. In terms of, well, I mean, it's not quite as good because they're only piercing 1 instead of 2, which
Mikeshi basically doesn't do anything in this.
Yeah, actually, that's a good. Oh yeah, that's right. I forgot about that.
Yeah, it's basically like a keyword. It does the same thing. As Impervious
does. Right.
It's like,
I remember now. It made Mikeshi not matter.
Yeah. So I mean.
Yeah, so it's really just Vader and Anakin there.
It's mostly Vader and Anakin. Obviously, the Pierce 2 things, like we were talking earlier about the Din unit having Pierce 2 being a big deal in kind of the mirror matches.
Sure.
I think Pierce 2 units are also still pretty good in the Mandos. Like, I think the thing about it is that Impervious before inherently brought a certain amount of risk for all Pierce units, in that they could just their pool could just bottom out, and like you might just do no damage.
Yeah.
And when you take a 200-point unit, you can't afford to have it do no damage in a 3-turn game, you know?
Yeah.
And now I mean, like, you know, Vader rolls 6, right? Let's say he hits on 5. Chances are they miss on 1 to 2. They're still losing most of the squad.
Yeah.
Right? Like,
fair.
So I don't know.
All that is like a long-winded way to say that in the grand scheme, you know, at least in my opinion, because Impervious, the BX squads weren't going to be, you know, full blocking Vader anyway, because they didn't have surge tokens on defense. Right. And so I think when it comes to BXs and ARCs, it is actually a very strict upgrade, because Pierce 1 was bothering them a lot in the past and now won't bother them at all. And so with them, you know, and I did just look at the math, is that it's 106 points total for the naked BX Vibro and the sniper to go along with that. And that's just like, you're just getting a lot for that. Like, that, it's really, really good. And I mean, I think
that's cheaper than a 6-man arc squad.
Yes.
Like in a unit.
Yes. with guns that don't fire as far. It's pretty good. I encourage people to take a look at it. And then this list also has just the three requisite B1s. And then it has regular General Grievous with C's and prepared supplies. But then it has 3 super attacks. It has 2 operatives that have slice comms and electrostaff, and one of them has direct, but like, mostly that they're just like slice comms guys that are charging. And then also it has the commander super attack with overclock, electrostaff, offensive push, enhanced combat subroutines, which is, I think that's the lethal one.
I can't claim to have these memorized.
Yeah, there's so many things, but anyway, it's a bunch of super techs, and obviously he would be able to do tactical download and get a pretty nice turn one alpha with the ions to really take care of some business with the vehicles. But then he's got a follow up of crashing in there with a bunch of charging units and piling on suppression tokens, taking orders away, blah blah blah, all the regular cheating stuff. Regular Grievous is still showing up. He's still pretty good.
Yeah,
Jedi is still a really good command.
When I look at this list, all I see is suppression tokens. Like this
is a lot of suppression tokens.
This is similarly to like how I feel like Trent plays, except he's doing it differently. He's got like extra slice comms, and he's playing the psych strike teams and stuff, and yeah.
So that was the number 2 list, and then the number 1 list is an interesting one, and it's not one that we've really seen much like this at all. So the leaders of the list are Kalani. Is Kalani. That is the only commander for the list, an uncommon choice for any CIS list. But then operatives wise, Sun Fac, always a good choice for the money. And then Bosk with On the Hunt and Recon Intel.
This might be the first time in the last year that I've seen the upgrade card On the Hunt in a list.
Well, that is an upgrade card that literally only makes sense on Bosk, I think.
Sure. I'm not disputing
so that's why we haven't seen it.
Yeah.
Because like he is the only situation where it really makes sense. And then this list has 5 E5S B1 battle droids.
That's a sniper, right?
Yeah, that's the range 4 critical 1 gun.
Yeah.
Blast from the past as far as that goes. And then this one also has 3 ion spiders and 2 aqua droids with the heavy. So this list is one that would actually have a very substantial turn 1 alpha because you have like if you're poking beyond range 1, I should say, if you're on deployment zone, which you probably shouldn't against this list, but if you did do that, then the E5Ss would be able to shoot at you. But regardless of whatever you do, the ions and the aquas will almost certainly be able to shoot at you.
And Bosk.
And Bosk as well, especially because he has recon intel. So lots of alpha, and then lots of bodies, lots of health, much of which it's either behind B1s or armor. And it looks like this is basically just kind of a straight up attrition list, but it would be quite good at it. One thing that I wanted to mention a second ago, I'm glad we had this opportunity to talk about it, is that Bosk's stocks, I think, go up in a Mando meta because merciless munitions, if you can get it off, is something that could potentially be pretty annoying to Mandalorians to just like have a bunch of poison tokens lying around in a team where you have to kind of keep them fairly close together in order to get off their stuff. It does hurt the fact that his gun is Pierce 1, and so he's not going to be actually like poking through them.
His melee is Pierce 1 too.
His melee is Pierce 1 too. But I mean, so it honestly is mostly about being able to poison a whole bunch of bros. I don't know like how good that actually is.
Yeah, I found that my lists are pretty spread out after turn 1, to be honest.
Okay, so then there you go. It actually may not be all that great.
Range 2 is like pretty far, and the thing is that like, unlike clone sharing or others or exemplar, it's more like a B1 chain than
because you only need one next to you,
right? It's more like a share ball, and you don't even need the chain. You can just like have a pocket of 2, like way off in no man's land, and they're just like doing the thing and triggering it off each other, and they're totally good to go, right?
Yeah.
So it really comes down to this is the way, and I don't know. Being able to trigger like range 2 off cohesion it's pretty far.
Yeah.
I could see it being like really bad against for like Bo Ren, honestly, because they they have to be like range 1 of each other for like Guardian and all that shenaniganry. So I think it's probably worse against that list, or better against that list rather.
Yeah.
Be my gut
But
reaction.
yeah, like I think this list is cool. I'm always a fan of the pure attrition lists, and it is very wild to see not only a list with Bosk, but a list that brings all 3 of Bosk command cards. But you know, it's pretty much just him and Kalani in this list as far as that goes.
Yeah.
And yeah, and it's definitely, this is one of the lists that would definitely make good use out of the Armored Assault. You know, like a big part of me wants to figure out how to fit a super tack in here to be able to add tactical download in there on top of it.
I don't think it would be that hard. You just like you like drop a spider and cut a heavy or something.
Well, you would also have to, yeah. I mean, so you would have to do the commander super tack,
yes,
if you were going to do that, and so you would be cutting down on your alpha. But yeah, very cool list. That was from let's see if I can not butcher this name. So Mitch, that's the easy one. Kazmirchuk. I'm gonna go with that. Mitch, you can let me know if I got that name right. But congrats on winning that tournament. And so yeah, that was the Battle for Hoth, and you're going to tell us about the Indy Open, which is a yearly big, well-attended tournament.
It is. We're gonna, I think, also just go through the top 4 because that's easy and makes sense. So starting out our action here, we have Justin Fleming, who I believe is the present world champion.
That is the current world champion.
Yeah,
yes.
Yeah. So coming in at 4th with an Empire list that is, I would say, a little bit spicy. Starting off, we've got Iden Versio and Dio. That's a pretty, I think,
now free, right? That was the change. That
yeah. That's a pretty non-traditional choice. We've got Director Krennic. We have a Riot Squad with Fifth Brother and KX droids, a unit that I really like at the moment. Stormtroopers with HH-12s times 2. We have a Death Trooper squad with Agent Callus in it. Security detail, the config, because obviously DLT 19. 3 Scout Troopers, bringing our total special forces up to 4 because the Death Troopers are entouraged via Krennic. 3 speeder bikes.
Speeder bikes?
Yeah.
Wow.
And this is going to be a common theme, I think, today. 3 strike teams, not with snipers, but with SABs.
Very interesting.
Yes. So I think we can maybe swing back to the SAB conversation at the end of Indy Open here. But yeah, I think 15 activations. Definitely interesting to me that this list does not have a certain dude who has blue skin in it.
Yeah.
just like nowadays,
not like
that seems really kind of what Empire's been trying to do. But I don't know. What do you think about this list?
I mean, it's very cool. I'm guessing that this would be setting up for a turn 2 tack strike.
Turn 1 tack strike seems kind of bad.
Yeah. So, but like if you're aggressively moving up with your scouts into hopefully some very good LOS stuff, but then you have speed 1 steady scouts that are gonna have a bunch of aims. Like I could definitely, that would be getting a lot of juice out of the the 130 points or whatever that you're spending on those scouts in the first place. So that's like just sort of a nice way to get efficiency out of your list. If you're using that for your tech strike. The bikes, he must be very good with these bikes. Because I look at this list and the order control situation, which is to say that there's no order control whatsoever. Aside from entourage onto the Death Troopers.
Does the Callus upgrade? The Callus upgrade doesn't have direct, right?
No. So yeah, like his order control would be Yeah, would be the heart of the cards, as they would say.
And it's worth saying that like he also brought what I would describe as like a pretty order hungry version of the command cards he could have brought. Like he brought Pulse Scan, Incapacitate, and Concussive Blast, which both those Iden 1 and 2 pips, I believe, are all Iden only.
Yeah.
Like none of the 2 pips actually order multiple orders in this list.
Yeah. Yeah, it's I mean, Justin made choices that were different from the typical standard in Worlds, which was the same thing that Isaiah did in the prior Worlds, and he ended up getting rewarded for it. So, it's like we're certainly not saying that that he did anything wrong by these choices, but I am openly admitting that I don't understand what I would want to understand better. And if Justin, you want to reach out by DM or comment under this or whatever, but the speeder bikes.
I mean,
that's the big thing for me, because without order control,
it is worth noting he's got 6 support tokens in the pool.
Okay, that actually is fair. That's something the whole saboteur thing, it keeps messing with me in terms of what token type that is.
Sure. Yeah.
So I take back the order control piece. Is that actually is not as bad as in my head. It was 3 support tokens in a pool of 14, and I was like, oh my god, I would hate that. But if it's like almost half the pool, yeah. But that way, if you almost always have one speeder bike that is like the really vulnerable one that you want to activate and then get the hell out of there early in the round. And so as long as you have a decent enough chance of drawing that, then it would not be so bad. But yeah,
and you've got a pretty likely chance of like drawing it on Voracious too on the turn you need it.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, and I'm also interested in I guess, even though it's a list that has vehicles, is that he chose to not take the Krennic 3-pip. I guess Assault gives you 1 extra order.
I think that card is just such a liability at the moment.
Yeah, it can be a trap. So
like unless
he doesn't have anything to help a suppression situation.
Yeah, he literally had. I think the only suppression mitigation in this entire list is the recover on Concussive Blast.
Yeah. Okay. That's fair.
Like that.
That's fair.
Yeah. So definitely very interesting list. Coming in at 3rd, some dude named Brian Bear. I don't know.
Can we skip this part?
No. So Brian was playing Rebels. Surprise.
How original.
So original.
What an avant-garde guy, Brian Bear. He's so cool.
A rebel officer, proven tactician with improv. Operative Luke Jedi Knight. Oh man, it's not like he hasn't been playing that unit for basically 6 years. Burst of speed, mind trick, force push into the fray. He's got Operative Han Solo. Man, again, so original. Trusted agent, seize the initiative.
Browse my phone while you go over this list.
3 naked rebel troopers, 3 rebel commandos with proton charges, 3 rebel ATRTs with flamethrowers, and 3 strike teams with saboteurs. And that's not even original because Justin Fleming apparently did it first. So, I don't know, man. I don't know what to say here other than it seems like, Brian's just like walking in the shadows of Justin. I don't know. What do you think?
Yeah. Brian, you used to be an avant-garde player. You used to be a leader, and now you're just a follower. So
where's the innovation? Where's the innovation?
I'm not mad. I'm not disappointed either, because I've just come to expect negative feelings in general when we talk about him. But yeah. So Brian Barry, you played a list.
Third, Indy Open, great. Moving on to what I would describe as an actual rebel list. We've got.
Hang on, Mike, real quick.
Yes,
he did have 6 saboteurs.
Yes, that's what I said.
So, I mean,
we can talk about the Sabs later.
We'll talk about the Sabs later. You're right. This is enough, Brian.
Let's move on. I really want to talk about those Sabs Justin brought.
Yeah.
Okay. Great. Second place, Alex Vayhinger, also playing Rebels. Commander Luke Skywalker. I'd like to talk about somebody doing something different. Yeah. Improv, Tenacity, Comms Jammer, Din Djarin, the Mandalorian.
Yeah. Real quick, Mike, that is Tauntaun Luke Skywalker, just to be clear.
Sorry. It's actually kind of tough to tell on these.
It is tough to tell, but this goes back to my language subtitles thing about how I think it's hilarious that the Ton version has the subtitle of Commander Skywalker, whereas the guy on foot has, I think, Hero of the Rebellion as his subtitle. So yeah, I love how you were like, well, somebody doing something different for a change, and I'm like, wait a minute, hang on. I mean, let's roll that back.
A guy can hope, a guy can hope. Alex, you've been hanging around with Brian too much. All right, let's continue.
Clearly.
We've got Din Djarin, the Mandalorian, with Tenacity, Flame Projector, Jetpack, and the Dark Saber, which, seems good. Han Solo, Tenacity, Comms Jammer, 2 Naked Rebel Troopers, Cassian Super Fleets, 2 Rebel Commandos with Sabs, a Sleeper Cell, an ATRT with a laser, 2 strike teams with snipers, and a speeder truck with an uplink and a quad laser, presumably carrying the Sleeper Cell.
Yeah, I would presume, yeah.
So, yeah, I mean, it's a Rebel list.
Yeah, It's got Din. I mean, a lot of Rebel lists have Din.
I think the main thing here is, I mean, I don't think this is like a shocker to anybody, but like, Darksaber, obviously, just like there was an errata for Bo that she can't take Darksaber outside of Mando's. That did not happen for Din.
I was not even aware of this errata.
Yes, Bo cannot take the Darksaber outside of Mando's anymore.
Okay. No, I mean, I would be surprised if that did happen for Din.
Sure. I guess like it would make the Darksaber cheaper than Beskar Spear make more sense though.
That's true.
I mean, I don't know. So
it's pretty much just a strict upgrade for Din, which he definitely needed.
He's actually it's not even like a minor upgrade either. It's
like, a huge upgrade.
It's like actually like really big. So yeah, okay. I'll have to check in on that after the cast. There was just like a bunch of forum rulings and stuff.
Right.
Yeah. I mean, I think this Cassian Super Fleet squad is not long for this world. I'm going to be honest. I know everybody's
there's about
really
to be a lot more flamethrowers out there.
Yeah. I feel like there's even going to be like even like the Best God squad in like a Rebel list. I think is like not terrible. And like just giving that a flamethrower probably one shots a Cassian Super Squad like most of the time.
Yeah.
It's like what? There's 11 guys in the Cassian Super Squad, right? It's 5 plus 4 plus 2 heavies. Yeah, 11.
Yeah.
So that's 11 red. It's 14 red. 4 white. Pierce 1. That gets most of it. On average,
I think pretty much every flamer in the game that is better than, I mean, any flamer in the game that's not the like Snowtrooper one is basically expected to kill Cassian.
Yo, Snowtrooper 1 has gotten leveled so hard. Especially because it's like, it's the OG, man. Like, like I think Snowtroopers and like Boba Fett, the flamethrower card like came out like basically at the same time.
Yeah.
One doesn't even exist anymore, and the other is like, yeah, you just don't take the Sever.
I'm sorry, I forgot about the R2D2 one, which also sucks. But
better than the Snow one. Though.
It is still better than the Snowtrooper one. But yeah, do you remember when Blizzard Force like came out, and this was not sort of the common way to run Blizzard Force. This was sort of the hipster way to do it. But just the idea of, I can spur my snow flamers with a frag grenade and the flamethrower, and like just think about all those dice.
How much damage I could do
and
with
how
that.
much damage you're going to be able to do. And it has blast, which means you get past the cover. Boy, things sure have changed. Yeah, the Snow Flamer not doing great. But okay, so what do we got for the number one list, which is a shocker of a person to be number one of Indy Open?
We've got Trent Hale,
the actual hero of Indiana.
Yeah.
The actual, like, consistently good player from that region. Anyway, go ahead, Mike.
This is I would describe this list as, actually, this is different than what I thought it was. So we're not going to describe it yet. It's Poggle with Improv. It's Kraken with Into the Fray and Emergency Transponder. Sunfac.
Team Kraken, baby.
Yeah.
WTC. Yeah. See, me and Trent, we're equally good at Star Wars Legion. Anyway, go ahead.
Super Tactical Droid Operative with Seek and Destroy, Overclock, Slice Comms, Electro Stab, Strike Team Leader.
Man, strike team. I never even thought about strike team leader on the Super Tech.
I think it will make more sense as we get farther down the list.
Okay.
Geonosian Warriors Naked. I think after playing against Trent like one time, I find it hard to believe he would ever leave home without Geonosians and that Sunfac.
I mean, when you have Sunfac, it's free money. It's an order you can direct to, and like he doesn't even play the Sunpack one fig. But yeah, it's great. It's great.
2 Naked B1s. Here's the secret sauce: IG 100 Magna Guard unit with none other than the worst version of General Grievous. Into the Fray, Impact Grenades, and the Electro Whip Magna Guard. He's got 2 nose-mounted laser cannon spider droids with defense protocols.
The laser cannon.
Yep.
Wow.
One with a flamethrower and defense protocols. A Wheelo speeder tank with frenzied gunner, HQ uplink, and door gunners because
Yeah, why not?
Super Tacs weren't cheating enough. He just had to get in on the Wheelos too.
Oh, the Wheelos transporting Grievous.
Yeah, buddy.
Oh man.
Aqua, and then he's got an Aqua droids with the heavy on it.
Yeah.
So I joke here that this is the worst version of General Grievous, which I do believe is true.
Is technically accurate, but it's not. It's definitely not bad.
I don't. I don't think it's like bad.
Yeah.
But yeah. Wild list. It does some of the things that we see Trent doing, I think, traditionally. Definitely some innovation here. Very, very cool list. I imagine that Magna Guard squad getting out of that Wheelo is actually frightening.
Yeah. It'll have 2 free tokens because of Strike Team Leader and Retinue.
Yeah.
And yeah, I guess like it. I don't know the math off the top of my head about like how far back or how far forward that Grievous unit can get to for a charge.
Well, the Wheelo's what? Speed 1? Or is it speed 2? So speed 1 plus the base is 10 inches? 8 inches? So let's say 8 inches to be conservative. Maybe it's a little more than that. So that's range 2 before it moves out of the tank. So we're like range 2 1/3. Are there any free move things?
It can't be overclocked because Grievous makes it lose AI.
Yeah. So I don't think there's like free move shenanigans going on here. But I mean, realistically, on turn 1, it could charge you at range 4.5 from its port edge, probably.
Okay.
And he's playing Cauldron, Intercept, Bunker, which are all normal deployments. I think they're all basically the same deployment, so they're all the 9 inches.
They're all like the flat thing, yeah.
So no hijinks, kind of like coming off the angle there.
So it's probably not charging in there round 1, but it has the Super Tac 3 pip, the Kraken 3 pip, so the Grievous unit is going to get an extra free move at the end of, or no, it couldn't use that because it's not AI.
Correct.
So
that's why I was like trying to figure out if it got anything else that was a little hijinksy. I'm not like I've never actually like really messed around with this unit before, so.
But it's generally just going to be a strong unit that in many turns is like in most turns is going to start out with 2 dodge tokens on top of the fact that it's red saves and 2 health per mini, including Grievous himself. And so like
where's the second dodge token coming from?
You get Strike Team and Retinue.
Oh,
right?
Strike Team. Sure.
Yeah.
Yeah. Definitely interesting. I also think is Grievous sidearm, melee, and range, so he can't actually shoot. Okay.
He can't shoot. But I feel like if you're shooting with Magnas, you're probably making a mistake in any situation.
Well, in a situation where you're only like getting to like, range 3 from your board edge with a charge
3,
unit,
sure.
like sometimes you're going to be in a situation.
Sometimes the only choice.
You probably do have to shoot if you want to actually be contributing offensively. I don't know. A charge obviously goes a long way there.
Probably he's just hiding the Grievous unit behind the tank on round 1, and then it's like a counter-charging threat for round 2 and beyond.
Yeah, because you could definitely move the Wheelo onto the board, deploy Grievous probably straightforward, move the Wheelo again.
Yeah, to block it.
To block it, right? Yeah.
Yeah.
That seems fine. Seems fair.
Yeah.
I guess my counter argument to that would be, is a Persuader just better for that? Persuader's got more health, right?
It obviously does have more health.
This is what Trent did, so it's probably better, but I'm just positing this as like an ask.
And then the Persuader also lasts longer. The Persuader doesn't have the
Persuader would have defense protocols and like a dodge token every turn probably too, right?
Yeah. I'm guessing that because of the Frenzied Gunner Door Gunners situation, that the Persuader would typically be throwing less attack dice.
The Wheelo definitely does more damage for sure, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, just an interesting comparison, just because I do think that Separatists are like have the closest unit to a Wheelo tank as far as what the Wheelo like actively does on the table. Like obviously they are slightly different units, but their base sizes are basically identical, right? Like they're the same base.
I believe they're the same base and the very similar height profile also.
Yeah.
I would be curious from Trent's perspective, because like the biggest thing about that snail is that it works with the super attack hijinks.
Right. You get especially to keep AI, and like overclogging a snail is no small thing.
Yeah, like that's a huge move. And then on tactical download, it's basically invincible. Without you even need to try doing anything.
Yeah, it's just like I have defense protocols, I have dodge tokens.
Yeah, exactly. It's
sucks to be you.
Pretty much. Whereas the Wheelo, like A, it breaks early, and then B, it can it can go down against impact pretty quickly. Like I'm definitely sort of concerned about the idea of a Mando is just like unloading all their jetpack rockets onto a Wheelo and then it just like being dead.
That's not your concern. That's not the concern, Evan. The concern is a Paz squad with 16 dice. Jetpack rockets or not.
Armor 5 doesn't matter.
it's just passing 11 past armor, regardless of the fact that it has impact or not.
Yeah. As usual, the best impact is just having a buttload of dice in this game.
And then if you lose the roll off and it gets to go first again, you probably, maybe lose a second tank.
Oh boy. All right. Well, yeah, so very cool list from everybody involved. It's interesting because of that Mando leader thing, is that now we're going to start having probably a bunch of bigger local tournaments that are allowing the Mando leaders to be in there as proxies, but then the GTs will still be sort of this meta.
Yeah.
So July is going to be weird. And then when August rolls around, we'll start seeing the real deal. But I think that about covers it for that. Mike, do you think we got time for a quick visit with our droid that we haven't talked to in a long time, C3LP?
I think we do. Evan.
Okay.
And I've asked C3LP kind of our normal question, which is to give us a random unit from Star Wars Legion. However, I have asked it to be a little bit more specific than that today. I asked it to give us a random new Mandalorian unit and break it down like it normally does.
Okay, but this is C3LP. No offense. C3LP probably has no idea what you're talking about.
Well, we'll find out. Sometimes I hear that AI is making leaps and bounds every day, Evan, so who knows?
Okay, sure. Let's see.
All right. C3LP Random Unit Protocol, Mandalorian Edition. Very well, since you specify the newest Mandalorian release, I've selected a unit from the recently announced Mandalorian range. Random unit, the Mandalorian Initiates.
Oh, it does. It actually looked at the internet this time. Yeah. Good job.
The Mandalorian Warriors kit can be built as Mandalorian Initiates, representing young warriors just beginning to earn their armor and reputation. The kit also builds Mandalorian Warriors or Clan Kryze veterans, but today fate has chosen the Initiates. Unit analysis and design philosophy. This unit immediately interests me because it fills a role Mandalorians have historically lacked. For years, Mandalorian units in Legion have largely been elite, expensive, small in number, extremely unforgiving. The Initiates appear to answer a long-standing design question. What if Mandalorians had a foundational troop instead of every model being a superhero? This is excellent faction design. The battlefield role, I expect these to be objective-focused, mobile, less individually powerful than classic Mandalorian Resistance or Super Commandos. The unit that enables the rest of the army to function. Every faction needs a workhorse. The Initiates look poised to become exactly that. It's an interesting design space. From everything we've seen about the new Mandalorian army, Atomic Mass Games appears to be leaning into clan identity, with different leaders and affiliations changing how units function. That means the Initiates may not just be cheap Mandalorians. Air quotes were included. They may become Clan Kryze Initiates, Children of the Wash Initiates, Clan Ren Initiates, or Custom Clan Initiates. He's left off Gar Saxon here. Apparently.
Yeah, for not appearing in this film, Clan Saxon.
All behaving slightly differently despite sharing the same base unit. As a game designer, I absolutely love that.
Wait, what?
That's what C3LP is apparently a game designer today. Why they'll be important. Many players become excited by heroes. Experienced players become excited by core units. Because core units determine activation count, objective play, scoring, list construction. If the Initiates are efficient...
You're just saying words now.
They may become the single most important release in the entire Mandalorian wave. I would ask this question. If you stripped away the jetpacks and Beskar, what actually makes a Mandalorian army feel like Mandalorians? If the answer is only elite units, the faction risks becoming repetitive. If the Initiates can establish the Mandalorian identity from the ground up, Atomic Mass Games has solved a very difficult design problem. The verdict, 5 out of 5 Beskar ingots. Not because they will necessarily be the strongest unit, but because they make the unit that makes the entire faction work. The final transmission, every legendary Mandalorian was once an Initiate, except perhaps Din Djarin. He mostly looked confused until circumstances forced him to become legendary. C3LP approval status, not worthy of being melted down today. That zoom in was perfect.
It was an extremely intentional zoom in. Yeah, I'm gonna try and fix this. I did it again. I keep forgetting that I can do this like stupid finger motion and unintentionally do the zoom in. There we go. But yeah. I think that the timing of it was actually like pretty hilarious because it was happening during the conclusion of C3LP. Yeah. So it's funny that C3LP picked Mandalorian Initiates because as you were describing your Mandalorian army, you were basically like, yeah, man, I got the Initiates. They're sort of my home point guys, and they don't do anything.
I'll be honest. initiates are garbage town. Like, don't take them. Like, yeah. I mean, cool idea, I think. Maybe in a meta where suppression is less meaningful would have been good. But
have you done the math of like looking at the super squad to see if it like makes sense at all?
There's only one thing that I've considered with the super squad, and that is potentially doing the Paz thing, but in a super squad and like infiltrating them as like an initiate unit.
Sure.
You get an extra like 5 black dice. You split fire like about the same. But as soon as you get shot, you're kind of up a creek.
Yeah.
Like the Paz squad in the fire support unit at least has like a shot at like taking 2 actions on its second activation of the game, you know? Like, whereas the initiate squad is just sort of, I don't know, without compel. And even with compel, you really want to like shoot and then move.
Yeah.
You know, it's like, it's the opposite interaction that you're looking for. So yeah, I don't know. It's also like way more expensive in the initiates. And I think the biggest thing, and this is a talking point that maybe we won't drive home today, but I would like to drive home generally, is that the general design choices that have been made, I think, in the past like 6 months, just like super squads are like such a liability from like a lot of different angles.
Yeah.
There are the angle one, like it's easy to stack suppression tokens on them to panic them, and because you have supers, you just have less places for them to put their suppression tokens, right? Like, and so like it makes it so that they don't have to split fire to panic your army. You know, like they could just concentrate their fire while doing the suppression damage.
Convenient.
Flamethrowers just obliterate like every super squad ever. Like I think the more I play New Legion, it's also like spreading out is like such a big deal, and like the more super squads you take, the less you can actually do that and score points. And I just feel like the design choices are contradictory to making super squads actually be a thing, you know?
Yeah. And so we end up in this place to where if the new baseline squad size ends up being 5 or something close to it, right? Because like I think that we've seen that with the Mandos, the like obviously like we had Ewoks before that, but I think that when Mud Troopers end up getting revealed, like I would not be surprised if they have a baseline of 5 also, and that future units may be something similar. And then but what ends up happening there is that the older units end up getting disadvantaged because they either have to just like deal with their normal baseline low number of guys or pay all this money for a super squad in order to open yourself up to those other issues. Well, it's weird.
It also, the relative value of a super squad is less when the normal amount of dues is higher, right? Like,
yeah.
Like if all of a sudden I'm paying, if I've got 25% more dudes in my core units just by the nature of how we're designing core units now, which is fine.
Yeah.
To be clear. Like paying more points just to put extra dudes in the squad is less valuable inherently. Particularly like I mean, you know, I don't think Mando warriors are like that much like per model. Like they're pretty close to clones.
Yeah.
You know, and in some ways they're like better. In some ways they're like on par, but they have an extra dude. You know, like
that's pretty good.
That, which is kind of a big deal, you know. And so I don't know. I think that I am more and more convinced that like, particularly with like the flamethrower options, there seems to just be like a lot of solutions to super squads, even though like super squads aren't really a problem. You know?
Yeah. Which it'll be funny if that happens, because that will make the nature of super squads kind of cyclic, where I think at first there was a lot of doubt, and then they became a big thing, and then now they might become less of a big thing.
I would say that they're like, we started at least taking some, you know?
Yeah.
Like it's like, okay, you might have one or two in your army or whatever, you know? But they're generally, basically, in any circumstance where the super squad has been good, it kind of hasn't been on the back of a super squad. It's been on the back of a squad leader.
Yeah, such as Fives or Cassian.
Fives, Cassian, Ahsoka, whatever, right? So like the super squads are really those units are not actually about the super squads. The super squad upgrade just makes them better, as opposed to like, if
it puts more health and dice under a very good leader.
Right. If the super squad didn't exist, you probably are still taking those squads just with the squad leader, right? Like you would still take Cassian in a fleet squad with a shotgun if the super squad wasn't there, probably.
Yeah, probably.
Right. Probably. So yeah, I don't know. Just an interesting thing. I think the Mando release has really highlighted that for me, just from like I played against a list last weekend that was like a oops all super squads against my like range 4 flamethrower and 2 flamethrower list. And I was just tough. Like, I delete that one and I delete that one and I delete that one and then I delete that one again with Pat, you know, and it's just it felt like I had tools in my toolbox that were just like not fair.
Yeah. Pretty rough.
Yeah. So I just, you know, if you're going to pay more points for something, I think it should be resilient by nature. So yeah, maybe
future upgrades will come out that make the initiates more of a thing, or maybe they'll just like make them cheaper, and then they actually would start to fill a role.
I think it's okay.
They're not filling right now.
That initiates are like the 56 point backline holder dude on a POI. And that's what you use them as. Frankly, this is a personal opinion, but I want my Mandalorians to feel like Mandalorians, not like Joe Schmoes who've never shot a gun before, you know, like, so like, having like one squad of like dudes learning in the back is like, as far as theme wise, fine for me. I think it's just like one of like, I wish like the kids of the watch, like Battle Force ability wasn't like, you should just take these, you know? But they're fine as like a unit that has a job. You just only take one of them, maybe two if you're like strapped for points.
So I have another question about that C3LP response. Lots of praise for AMG, lots of talk about developers. It even actually slipped and said that C3LP itself is a game developer.
As a game designer, I absolutely love that. Yeah.
So do you think that we've been infiltrated, is my question. Like, do you think that C3LP's algorithm has been that, like, listen, I would welcome Will Begani and Will Schick to prove that they have not hacked into C3LP and inserted their own personalities into it with all of this praise, and it's always just like saying these glowing things about everything in Star Wars Legion. Also, somehow it became C3LP used to not know anything about Legion in like the past year and a half, but now all of a sudden it's actually like accurately talking about Mandalorian releases, and you know we didn't do anything to change him. So yeah, I don't know. It's dangerous territory. Do you think
in
we
the
should
same
melt him down
text
again?
log as all the other questions? Yeah. I mean, you know, it's interesting. I've been listening to a lot of Star Talk lately. I don't know if you're aware of that podcast. Are you aware of that podcast?
What is Star Talk?
That is the one where, man, I am so bad with names. What's his name? He's an astrophysicist. The new one that did Cosmos. The new Cosmos.
Yeah. Oh, Neil deGrasse
Tyson. There it is. Yeah. So I enjoy listening to him. He's a smart dude. He's been talking a lot about AI lately.
Yeah, go figure.
And I think AI is just like a bunch of programming. Nothing's actually changed from like it is still programming. It is still a computer program doing what we have been like asking it to do. I don't know. I think a lot of it is like a lot of what he's been saying lately has been enlightening to me on how I feel about it. I think I would encourage. I would maybe listen to it a little bit if you get a minute. I think it's one of those things where like we still have not like hit the like Terminator moment where like it becomes like actually self-aware and like does the things and stuff like that. That's like not a thing that has occurred.
I'm honestly not actually scared of that part. I'm scared of two things. I'm scared, one, of people considering the opinions of AI to be just like true things that need to be trusted at all times, which, the C3LP response, it, even though it was more accurate, that it still made plenty of mistakes, and it literally made a couple things up, which is something that AI is very wants to do.
So I would like to, on that vein, make a counterpoint.
Sure.
When you open up the news every day, would you say that the percentage of just like randomly plucked news articles from randomly plucked sources is more or less accurate than C3LP?
I don't randomly pluck them.
So I understand that
news sources with actual reporters.
I understand that. I get that. But I'm asking you, the random person, not Evan, that is getting their news.
Obviously that's somebody who's not very smart.
Sure. I'm making a point here. I'm making a point here that
sure, go ahead.
If you ask the internet generally, whether that be like news outlets or whatever,
don't do that.
or AI, which do you think would be closer to true?
Rebellions are stronger. Rebellions are built on not sharing information because you can't trust your idiot partners to actually keep things under wraps. They would maybe have to wait for like Luthen and Clea to be like models in the game for that sort of thing to work. But
that could be a great design space for those models, right?
And that the Spectre gang is going to be something coming out next year, and so that would incorporate with that pretty well, I think, also. So yeah, definitely, I think that there's hints of a lot of like really cool future design spaces. And when it comes to the clone stuff, maybe like having more squad leader type guys that would, like if you were to do something like Wolfpack, it probably makes more sense as just like having a squad leader that can affect a couple of units rather than having your entire army be Wolfpack or whatever.
Yeah.
I mean, there's a lot of potential there.
It totally could be something where you just like turn the like boil and waxer upgrades into like giving them like a 2/12 ability on the squad leader, right?
Yeah.
Something to that nature, if that's the route you wanted to take.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think that could be very cool. And I definitely think, we've seen a little bit of that with like the Cody upgrade. I think
Cody upgrade, yeah,
it's just
different than
it's like just a different level of scale. I think
right.
Having it across your entire army makes the theme really, really sing. I think.
Yeah.
So
there you go. I think all in all, pretty optimistic episode of Notorious Scoundrels. For all those out there who are hungry for that sort of thing,
yeah.
and so hopefully we can really keep this train rolling. So thank you for sticking around. We will get to the saboteur talk. I realize that we skipped past that part, but yeah. I think we're gonna have to like start the next episode with that one, just because we're sort of running long on time.
We also just don't want to give Brian Bear the credit.
Yeah, and also exactly the gleefully short on Brian Bear content, even though he did place third in Indy Open, but it's better to space it out.
If you're not first.
Yeah, like I've already actually literally forgotten of what he had on his list. I know he had a bunch of saboteurs, but Justin Fleming was the guy who pioneered that anyway, so he's going to get the credit whenever we talk about that next episode. So Mike, how do we land this plan?
Yeah, this has been the Notorious Scoundrels Season 4, Episode 63.
Can I do it? Yeah.
I'm Mike.
I'm Evan.
Stay fresh, cheese bags.